Yes, my people, fellow Nigerians, greetings to you all. Yes, welcome yet again to another edition of this whole issue of certificate saga that appears not to be abating because of the twists and turns taken around this particular matter. And of course, today I'm going to be discussing without some news that came out from the BBC, a report from the BBC, claiming that President Bola Tinubu, no evidence the President of Nigeria forged college record. And of course, that has since been met with some backlash. And I'm particularly interested with what a few persons have to say, particularly Reuben Abati, who apparently is in the news for this matter, and maybe not for the right reasons, because people feel him differently now. But before we go into that, make sure you share the broadcast. It is the Comrade Show. My name is Comrade Lamtic Moussa Oriaki. Don't go away. We are going deep down into it. It's just going to be for about 5 minutes, and we are done with this. Yes, it is the Comrade Show.
It's Comrade Show.
Yes, my people, it is the Comrade Show, but let me just quickly lay foundation to this. Before, Peter Gregory Obi, addressed the world, to, of course, ask the President of Nigeria to come clean on his records, of course, to save us embarrassment, as he put it. There was this report from the BBC, and the report read very straight as I put it there. So Bola Tinubu, diploma. No evidence Nigeria's president forged college record. Like I said, that has since been met with a lot of resistance, backlash if you may. As a matter of fact, as I speak with you, I have very good information that the BBC has received well over 18,000 petitions from Nigerians, who are coming out, straight at BBC to say that BBC is biased. I'm not the one saying that. A lot of records say that. As a matter of fact, I have a few people close, to my circle too that have equally put in petition. I'm putting that up there. I just, blanks the person's name and of course the number of the case itself. But this is the nature of the petition that has been coming to BBC over this particular report that says that there is no record showing that Bola Tinubu forged his certificate. And there have been a few commentaries on this. People have really come out hard on the BBC, trying to rubbish the BBC for this particular report. Not only rubbish BBC, but rubbish the people that gave that report and signed that report, as it were, and all of that. But like I said, Reuben Abati has something to say. But before we listen to Reuben Abati for just his 2 minutes deposition on this particular matter, let us listen to this articulate young man on Channels Television. He has something to say about this particular report. The reason why this particular report is key and people are worried about it is because it is from the BBC, and some people think that a report like this, may easily just influence the decisions, of the Supreme Court. And so, let's just take a listen to what this young man on Channels Television had to say. Credit to Channels Television on this, man. Let's take a listen.
Are you worried that the BBC report and those who are of the view that whatever the pursuit of Atiku Abubakar could be nullity, because the BBC report has stated that, in truth, Bola Tinubu attended Chicago State University?
You see, Sean, let me tell you something. When they call it the BBC report, I laugh at maybe the level of pedestrianism. The global disinformation team of the BBC, the young people, the 3 young people who wrote that report are not even in the employment of the BBC. The global disinformation team is like a fact-checking team. And when you are fact-checkers, obviously, most organizations outsource them. Let me take one of them, one of the authors of that report, for instance, Olaronke Alo. Olaronke Alo, as far back as 2019, was a producer and presenter on TVC. owned by President Bola Tinubu. She was running the program up till 2019. So you see, we can tell you, you don't need the services of a clairvoyant or a witch doctor to hazard a guess as to how the stories were put together. In that report, the first paragraph of that report, first or second paragraph will tell you that they got a copy, certified true copy of that deposition from Frank Shaibu. In the first place, no journalist will tell you his source of information. But we don't mind because it's not a secret document. It was a public document. They asked for it. One of their reporters asked me for the document. I sent it to her. Then in the report, towards the end of the report, the same report now claimed that when they tried to reach the Atiku media team, we did not respond. This we have taken up with the top management and we have written a petition. So they have allowed their platform to be used for a hatchet job like this. It is preposterous. It is unacceptable.
You think that
it is reckless.
The highest office in the BBC is not aware about the commissioning of such a story?
No, we do with profound respect. They were in shock too because I told them, I said, look at the report. It is jaundiced. Jaundiced because if you claim in the report that I gave you the documents and you are aware that I speak for former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, you did, if you could acknowledge the fact that I gave you the report, and at no time, either by email or telephone, when you needed the report, a copy of the deposition, you had access to my email, you had access to my phones. And when I gave you the document, and you now needed to get back to us to give our side of the story, you claimed in the report that you didn't have access to us. And when we queried that, did you call me? Did you send me an email? Did you send to Mazi Paul Ibe, who is the head of the Atiku media office? The answer was no. And they mentioned one obscure name that we have never heard before in the Atiku media office. So what it means is that if I took you first off to Olaronke Alo, who was a former presenter, producer with TVC. TVC is owned by Bola Tinubu. So if my people will tell you that, look, if a bicycle passed through this road and you are seeing a corpse by this roadside, killed the person. It's possible. You don't need a witch doctor to tell you that it is a hatchet job.
So because of the history, of the work history of one of the team members of the BBC, you are saying that that report cannot be tenable as far as you are concerned.
No, Sheon, I'll give you other reasons. I just gave you that was just
because the submission, the inferences on their submission shows to that based on the document that available to them, that Mr. Bola Tinubu had actually finished from Chicago State University.
We did not. Let me even educate Nigerians. Atiku Abubakar did not go to Chicago University to ask whether Bola Tinubu attended or finished from Chicago State University. That is the mistake most people make. And it's unfortunate. What's our business if he attended Chicago State University? What's Atiku's business if he graduated from there? That's not our business. We have people who pay school fees, who get admission and go to university and they go there to sell ewa going and agege bread. That's his business. If he graduated or he did not graduate, it's not our business. What we went there for was one single thing. He submitted a certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission for the 2023 election. And when our lawyers, one of our lawyers, based on subpoena, wrote to the university, said, look, we need a copy of this man's certificate. They obliged him a copy. And the copy of that certificate was completely different from what Mr. Tinubu submitted to INEC. We became curious. If this certificate you gave to me, you gave to our lawyer, was dated, in that certificate they gave to our lawyer on subpoena. Mr. Nauro, it was on that certificate, it was clearly written there that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Bola A. Tinubu, not even Ahmed, graduated from the university on the 27th of June, 1979. Meanwhile, the one Mr. Tinubu submitted to INEC said he graduated from the university on the 22nd of June, 1979. How can one man have two dates of graduation? So we are aware that, hold on, Chion. We are aware that, okay, he has multiple dates of birth. Some of his documents show that he was born in 1950, some 52, some 54, and some 55. We became curious. I was okay, look, Chicago State University, please come clean. We want to have access to this man's records. He got admission into the university according to his records, and he graduated from this university. We don't have a problem. We want you to come under oath to tell us if you issue this certificate to him, the one he submitted to INEC. That was what took us to Chicago. And they came under oath. They did not issue the certificate under oath. The copies of the deposition are public documents. Now, hold on.
Frank, no.
Yes,
hold on. Let me ask you the question.
Yes, go ahead.
So I'd like to ask you, you are the owner of that iPad, isn't it?
Yes.
Is it possible for you to steal what belongs to you?
Oh, it is possible. It is possible. No, not what belongs to you. It is possible to steal.
So I'm asking, just remember, hold on, let me ask my question.
Go ahead.
And the question I'm asking is that if you own something, if you graduate, is it possible if you attended this school for you to forge your own graduation?
I will tell you.
Or the evidence of your
No, I will tell you. Let me ask you, I will respond to you with a question. Did Mesoma AGK not write the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board exams? Did she not write that examination? She did. But she went to a third-party agent, a CBT center, to produce a result. Was that result tenable? The JAM, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, under Bola Tinubu, not ban Mesoma from writing JAM for the next 2-3 years? Before Nigerians intervene, I think they've reduced it to 1 year. Did she not write the exams? So why didn't she wait to use that result? The issue is this. It is not my duty to go into the details of that matter. Let me even tell you something. The BBC report, if they claim they were fact checkers, what they would have done simply to prove to us that they were really fact checkers, the date of graduation and the date Mr. Bola Tinubu collected that certificate should have been one result that they would have given to Nigerians that would have stunned us. Don't forget too that Mr. Bola Tinubu told the world in Chatham House in United Kingdom, where the BBC is domiciled, that thank God I have gotten a replacement certificate from my university. He told the world, it's on tape. You use that tape on this station. And the university said, look, we don't have any record asking this man, asking the university to give him a replacement certificate. Don't forget too that this same matter came up in 1998-99 in court. And it reminds me of the Yoruba song, Eni Jale.
Well, fellow Nigerians, that's a perspective. It's quite deep. You know, so many issues here. The more you listen, the more you get confused. The more, sometimes you get embarrassed. But, Arise TV, Rufai, had something to say about the BBC report. Let's take a listen to Mr. Rufai. He had this to say, honestly.
So I read the BBC report, not an in-depth job done. It was a cherry-picking report that just talked about some areas and a couple of things. Number one, the part in the BBC report that the report did not talk about, it didn't talk about in the deposition where the school confirmed that what was submitted to INEC was not from them. Didn't also talk about the fact that there was a certain Michael Enahoro Eba, which was also in the deposition, that it was what they had about President Tinubu that they gave to Michael Enahoro Eba, which was at variance with what he submitted to INEC. And it was there in the report. Also, the report talked about the deposition talked clearly about the step-by-step procedure of how you could get a replacement certificate. And that speaks to the talk about third-party vendor, which the report talked about the fact that you go, you make your request to the website, and from there, they process it, you pay for it. And you can even get them to mail it to you. So that was also talked about in the report. So it was just some of the parts of the report. And I think for the sake of, our job, we need to be more rounded and we need to be more circumspect across board. And also, even the heading was sort of like clickbait. Because it was at the tail end, then the report now confirmed and said, okay, yes. They talked about clerical errors. That was why the reason for the discrepancy on the dates. But the report did not even also talk about, part of the deposition, about the document that said there was still some courses that needed to be done prior to graduation. Didn't talk about that. It was just at the tail end. They said, okay, the government college, Lagos was not set up as at 1970 when, the president claimed he left as at 1974. But you see, all of these things are already in the court. They put them out in the court.
Yes.
So I read the BBC report, not an in-depth job done. It was a cherry-picking.
Well, that was Rufai on Arise Television. On that same particular edition of the Arise Television, Reuben Abati had something to say. And, we're going to listen to Reuben Abati. While everybody was talking about the BBC report and every other thing, Reuben Abati really took some swipe, I would say, at Peter Obi. He shaded Peter Obi. That's my description. Please, if you are there, you can put your comment there. This is the way I feel about it, and that's why I like to emphasize this. Reuben Abati actually, went straight ahead, to berate, I would say, Peter Gregory Obi for his press conference. Whether you agree with him or not, please just say your opinion. But we're going to listen to Reuben Abati. Don't go away. Nigeria, Cruzo, everyone. Over to you, Reuben Abati. Let's hear what you have to say.
When I saw the press conference by Mr. Peter Obi yesterday, I thought it was needless. If Mr. Peter Obi is considering a career in evangelism, there are many people who have gone from other careers into evangelism, but within the framework of the electoral process, what he did yesterday was just, in my view, just seeking media attention, looking for publicity. Why do I say so? The electoral process is effectively a process. If you, as a principal member of the process, if you have any grievances, the best place to go to is the court of law, and which is what Atiku Abubakar has done, the presidential candidate of the PDP, pursuing his matter in the court of law. The last time Waziri Atiku Abubakar had a press conference, he came out and said he wanted the candidate of the NMPP, Rabiu Kwankwanso, to join him, and also Peter Obi of the Labour Party to join him. The Labour Party released a statement and said they were not part of it. Okay, is it that now the Labour Party has changed its mind? The only appropriate forum that Mr. Peter Obi can adopt is to go to court, to say he has issues to raise. But to come forward and then be giving a press conference and moralizing, it doesn't quite fall within the framework of the matter before us. But of course, for publicity purposes, for attention-seeking purposes, what he has said has generated attention. And I think that the response that he has received from Felix Moka of the APC is in place. What Felix Moka has said is that the 8.9 million people who voted for Bola Tinubu in the election, in the presidential election, they were not groggy when they did. So there's clearly a division on the matter in Nigeria. And the only place you can resolve it is not through propaganda, it's not media attention, it's in the court of law. So Mr. Peter Obi must be very clear about the fact that the matter is now before the Supreme Court, and it's only the Supreme Court that can decide on that particular matter. When I saw the press conference by Mr. Peter.
Well, Nigerians, you've taken a listen to Reuben Abati. I don't know how much you agree with him, but I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him on different grounds. First and foremost, everybody's been talking about this issue. Well, everybody knows that this matter is in court. BBC that made a publication, they know very well that this matter is in court. Even on this Arise Television, everybody's been talking about it, and they've been bringing guests to talk about it. All television stations are talking about it. International media is talking about it, and all of that. I honestly think that some of the people that stand in the very best positions to talk about this matter are people like Peter Gregory Obi, not just because he's a direct stakeholder, but because, people, his followers, his supporters, everybody need to know where he stands. Particularly when Peter Obi premised his press conference on the mounting embarrassment he has received in some places he has traveled to beyond the shores of this land. And what Peter Obi has clearly asked for is nothing but to say that Mr. President should address Nigerians. That's it. Tell Nigerians this is the true state of things, so that all this running here, running there will not be necessary. In my opinion, I think that Peter Obi was right to have spoken. Peter Obi's words, in fact, on this same platform is where I understood that, public temperament has no way of influencing, the Supreme Court or judicial judgment, as it were, and all of that. So, Peter Obi was right, to speak on this matter. This is my own opinion. Put your own for there. You understand what I'm saying now? If you agree with Abati, put them for there. If you don't agree with them, equally put them for there. Because there are lots of people that have come out, to say Reuben Abati was wrong on this, as he's been wrong on some other things in the past. As a matter of fact, some people have even alleged that maybe Reuben Abati tried to curry favor from Bola Tinubu. Well, that is people's opinion. You understand? I don't hold that opinion, but I think that, for you to leave BBC and begin to say, why would Peter Obi address a press conference and try to, take swat at Peter Obi, I thought that was, of course, wrong from Reuben Abati. And I think that, in my own opinion, he should not abuse his, broadcast prowess or broadcast privilege, as it were. Well, fellow Nigerians, that's all the matter, Rachel. I say, I just can't drop and with it. We're still following the matter. You understand? Everything that is happening right now is all gearing towards our wait, at least before the end of December, for Supreme Court judgment on this particular, matter. So, let's not go too far away. It is the Comrade Show. Make sure you stay with the Comrade Show. Subscribe to our channel. Follow us, and we'll always be coming up with whatever is available, So that's the matter, my people. Keep sharing. God bless you. It is the Comrade Show, and my name is Comrade Lamtic Mahonsa Rehi. Trying to make sense of this all. God bless you. Cheers.